Hey everyone. So in this video I'm going to talk about what I think is the biggest problem in Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer, and that's weapon balance. So I recently watched a Bioware dev stream where they commented on weapon balance, but they basically said that you should try getting your weapons to level 10 before you say anything about them being underpowered. But that couldn't be further from the truth, and I'll show you in this video why that is. So at the moment there are about 4 or 5 weapons that are worth using, and the rest really just don't compare. The top 3 right now are the Raptor, the Vanquisher, and the Piranha. It won't actually matter what level you have those weapons at, they will out DPS almost every other weapon in the game. And here's a clip to show just how powerful the Raptor can be. So this was a gold Hydra, and my Raptor was only level 5 and I was just using cryo rounds. But almost no weapon can even compare to the damage of that in this game. It would take about a minute at least for most weapons in this game to kill a Hydra on gold. So the reason this does so much damage is because basically it's a Harrier with half the magazine size with a scope, because it has half the magazine but does about the same damage. And that's why it does so much damage. I'm not sure why it's been buffed so much, and why it's been made fully automatic, but that's just the way it is. And the reason the Vanquisher does so much damage is because it does almost the same damage as a Black Widow, but has one more shot in the magazine, and is lighter. So there's almost no point in using the Black Widow when you have the Vanquisher. And it will basically one-shot most things with a headshot, which is why it's so useful. So the other reason why this does so much damage is because I took rank 6A sustained fire on passives. It doesn't really matter which build you take on turbocharge, just as long as you take this and use an automatic weapon. So with the Raptor it will make it almost OP, but with any other weapon it will make it usable, basically, the more you shoot. But that's why it does so much damage. So now I'm going to compare how the Carnifex and the Mattock were in Mass Effect 3 compared to Mass Effect Andromeda. And I'm just going to solo a gold wave in Mass Effect 3, then in Mass Effect Andromeda with those weapons. So these weapons were uncommon in Mass Effect 3, but they were completely usable on gold. They weren't exactly overpowered in any way, but they were usable, you could kill things. But let's see what they're like in Mass Effect Andromeda. So these weapons are the exact same level in both games, but in Mass Effect Andromeda I can barely kill the basic enemy and I have to run away. But they like take my shields in like 2 seconds and I have to like shoot a whole clip in their head just to kill them. And then we try the Carnifex, which is even worse. Now let's compare this to the Raptor and the Vanquisher. And most guns are like this. I honestly can't think of a reason why I wouldn't just use the Raptor the whole time, which is so boring. So let's compare the stats from weapons that are in both games and compare the damage. And here we see the problem. Matok in ME3 did 129 damage, Matok in MEA does 89, which is 68%. The Carnifex did 345 damage, and does 195 now, which is 56%. The Hurricane did 128 damage, but now does 57, which is 44% the damage. The Crusader did 788, but now does 442. This is just laughable, and look at the Valkyrie. Did 300 damage, now does 93. How the Valkyrie wasn't even OP. It was like barely anyone used it, and they had to buff it one time. But apparently it deserved a 69% damage nerf. What the hell, Bioware? Like, do you not like these weapons? Do they deserve a nerf like this? So what can be done about this? Well, basically these weapons just need buffs. Like some even up to a 40-50%. Because at the moment, really, I don't use many guns because most of them don't do any damage. And I don't really want to max most of them. And I'm not looking forward to most of the ultra rares because of what I've heard about them, they're not very good. So I'm grinding in this game to not get any good weapons. And this really needs to change because if these weapons don't get buffed, then people are just going to lose interest in this game. This game really has potential to be really good. But right now, it's just lacking balance, and I really hope it gets in the future, and that Bioware listen to this. And thanks for watching.